This is my super rare 986 Anniversary Edition Boxster. They only made 150 of these in right-hand drive, but that's not why I bought this car. I bought it because it drives absolutely fantastically. And I knew as soon as I bought this car, there was one place I had to take it. The Nürburgring. 13 miles of pure driving heaven. A motoring mecca for any petrolhead, home to some of the greatest, most dangerous races in the world, and some of the craziest circle pits too. But it's also where you'll find Touristenfahrten, probably the most accessible, diverse and exhilarating track experience in Europe. All you need is a car and a €30 lap loaded onto your toll card, and off you go. You see, I owned a 986 Boxster S, not an Anniversary, before this, and I attempted to take that car to the Nürburgring because I knew it would be fantastic, well, and it ended in disaster. I never made it there. However, now that I'm in the best of the best that the 986 has to offer, I feel it's a perfect opportunity for redemption. So today I'm going to ePorsche to have the car scrutineered by Chris, actually the same Chris I bought the car from. So fingers crossed there's nothing too shocking that we're going to uncover. There's then a few things I want to sort out at home as well, and at the end of it, fingers crossed, we'll have a car that is Nürburgring ready. Whilst we're on our way to ePorsche, I want to say a quick thank you to today's sponsor who have been helping me with the Z3 project. My life is being made a lot easier with this Z3, however, thanks to this tiny little device called OBD11. Now, if you actually look at the key for my BMW Z3, which is this thing here, very dinky, very delicate, very of its time, this thing's smaller than it. But despite being tiny, looks to be deceiving, this thing packs a punch with its dealer level diagnostics. So with a quick tap on the OBD11 app, we can uncover some of my Z3's hidden secrets. What I'm actually hoping to find out with this Z3 is that that pesky crankshaft sensor hasn't been playing up again, and we'll see if the code is back in the system. Well, that's all good then, no fault codes at all, which means that crankshaft sensor issue hasn't come back up, which makes sense because this car has been running beautifully since it did occur. And if you quickly take a leap 10 years ahead with me into my dad's 2011 1 Series, he's asked me to have a quick check over his car for him. So once again, quick tap on the app, connect to the OBD11 device in the OBD reader, and here we go. OBD11 is now scanning all the 20 ECUs that this 2011 1 Series has, and it's going to find 5 faults. If we click on this warning triangle, it'll outlay them for us, but there's nothing critically wrong with this car's engine or transmission or anything like that, so that is good news. Then we can click into the One Tap app area where we can find some personalization or coding features you're able to do with your car. I always love doing this one where you test the gauges, you do a gauge sweep test, press this button here, and on this era of BMWs as well, a great one is to enable comfort opening from the key fob, which allows you on this convertible to literally open the roof and all the windows from outside the car by holding the unlock button, which I'll show you now. So that's good with the Z3 then. It doesn't look like we're going to need to replace that crankshaft sensor, but if you're anything like me or my dad and you like to buy needy cars, then it's definitely a good idea to have OBD11 by your side. So if you do want to go ahead and get yourself one, you can also get yourself a nice discount with that code on screen now. Thank you so much to OBD11 for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it.
Welcome back. We're back again. We have this lovely Anniversary that you purchased from us after your little test drive. Yeah. And obviously you've been using it for a bit now. We're just back here in the workshop. We're just going to give it a once over because you've got a little trip coming up. So we're just going to make sure everything's nice and good and address any issues if there are any. Obviously this is the Anniversary Edition, GT Silver with Cocoa interior, manual. It's quite high miles, but sometimes mileage isn't always a thing to get hooked up on with these Porsches. So under here is the battery, which is a nice little Bosch number that someone's put in there. Yeah, it's a bit wet, and that is because I think it's in screen where I've done the washers. I think what happens, common one, there you go, is there's a T-piece here, goes there, that goes into there, and these just pull out and break. They're about £8 or something, and yeah, you just literally 3 pipes, and that fixes it. So all it will do is, although the washers work, half of it will just be squirting in here. New spring, dampers, well, a little bit of corrosion on the, they like to suffer a bit of corrosion on the top there, but looks all right. Top mount looks okay. No play in anything, so we're off to a good start. Damper body's a little bit corroded. Steering rack, there's no leaks from there. The pipes have got slight corrosion on them, but they always kind of do. Boxster and 996 is very similar, like very similar, like virtually the same in the front end, unless you get a four-wheel drive 996, which obviously is a little bit different, but fundamentally they're still the same. Those power steering lines corrode. Dampers, top mounts, it's all just an age thing really. Yeah. Walking around, you've got your air con condensers in there, which, as I mentioned, the AC is cold. They're aged, but there's no, normally you see a big damp patch on them.
Yes,
if they're
dry,
leaking,
aren't they?
so they're nice and dry. Again, this condenser here looks aged, but there's no sign of any damp patches or anything. Someone's done a pair of springs.
Okay, so it's two front springs.
Yeah, sometimes we get them in where it's been to a non-specialist or someone who's on the cheap and they've just done one spring. Sometimes we see that. That's not the best, really.
I mean, this car did have, I think before you guys acquired it, it was actually at La Rose Porsche anyway, wasn't it? Which
it did. It had a it had a service at La Rose Porsche in January, I think. Yeah. So that's where your bulkhead drain comes out, because that's all your screen wash that I've squirted in there, because that freeway valve has leaked in there. So we know your drains are clear. Lower arm looks good. Again, the damper's got some corrosion on the body. Again, it's not leaking and stuff, so that's kind of like a
are they fluid-filled dampers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're dry as a biscuit up there. So yeah.
And so the drain holes, is that something that constantly gets clogged then on these?
Yeah.
And is that a thing that's a bit of a pain to sort, or is
no? The front ones are quite easy. Okay. They're just down the two plastic trims either side of the battery. Okay. And there's four rubber sort of bungs in there, grommets, and just sort of poke a bit of wire or screwdriver down there and just clean them out.
Check at home with their boxes.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Lots of people do it methodically. So, which is quite a good idea, because otherwise you get water in the car, control units under the seat, and those control units from Porsche now are like £1,000.
Wow.
Everything else seems to look all right around here. You seem to get lucky with these cars.
Yeah, well, don't jinx it, but I have done pretty well so far. Certainly when it comes to Porsche, I've never had a bad experience. Also, for me, I think the paintwork on this car, well, I like it for a start, but it looks the same.
Yeah,
as my old
it's actually
Boxster
pretty straight, with different colours of silver.
Bonnet, was different shade. So this looks, to me at least, nice and straight. Yeah, and so I noticed Michelin Pilot Sport 2s again. I think these are slightly newer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2023. Yeah. So I think they're matching as well. So yeah.
Yeah, loads of tread on there. There's not really much to see. Again, check the springs, because they are of an age where springs can break now, but normally it's a bit obvious that the car will normally sit a little bit wonky. Not always though. If just a little bit of the ends broken off, you won't, but yeah, normally.
So I noticed it's a little, again, mileage, it's a little bit marked, there's a little dent there, but we were chatting, weren't we, about, there are
normally what happens is, if you see, it's not quite that bad, but normally what happens is when someone reverses into something on these, and the 987s and the 911s, where this bit is here, something, you back into something like that, and normally the bumper looks all right. And when you get it up on the ramp and look up, you can see some of them I had where they're literally really bad.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks like maybe someone's hit something here and that's just compressed it.
Yeah.
Either side.
Yeah, there's every chance, yeah.
Anything to look for back here? Springs, like you say?
Springs, tyres, brakes. I mean, most of the suspension we'll see from underneath, all the rest of it. But it all looks okay.
Music to my ears.
Yeah, you've got a little fan in there for the engine compartment that you've probably heard.
But on the other side, on the passenger side, is the intake, isn't it? Which I believe, I think I said to you that I think they did that on that side because most of these cars will be left-hand drive.
Yeah.
In fact, there's the anniversaries, there's like 1,900 of them. Yeah. Only 150 are right-hand drive. So all the rest of them went to Europe and America, and so they're quite a rare car here.
Right, here we go. Oh look.
Is this being treated?
Yeah.
Oh, is that wax oil?
No, that is a like a stone chip paint. Yeah, we do that as well, where you paint it. They've actually gone. Yeah, whoever's done it has obviously taken all these off and done
under there.
Yeah. So then you can see the back of the radiator, the third radiator up there. Look.
Oh yeah.
This brace is a little bit corroded, but again, 22-year-old car or something, or whatever, 21. Yeah. So these give you a donk over the drop links. So make sure these give you a donk as well over normally going slow over ground, but they feel all right. You've got AC pipes that run down here. It looks a bit, you've got slight, although the AC works, I think there is just there. I could show you something here actually. Yeah, maybe you see where it's going like greeny.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks a bit green on the camera as well.
Yeah, and it's like a little bit oily.
Yeah.
So yeah, that pipe is like obviously 21 years old. And it gets, there you go, look at that there. You see that there?
Yeah.
So that's, you've got a bit of a leak there. They just corrode. It's got a coating on it, this pipe. If you look, it's like
so is it essentially just, it's not cracked yet, but it's just
like
starting to seep through.
It's an alley pipe, and see it's black with like a painted coating. And what happens is it just corrodes. And you know how aluminium, it just like pits.
Yeah.
And it's just, the AC gas is just weeping out. So see that little pin? See that little bobble, like a little bobble thing? Yeah. So it just slowly leak out. I think the pipe's about 180 quid. Something they've gone up. No, they have gone up a lot. And you often find that it leaks on this joint as well. Yeah, see there? If you put the camera up there, see that greeny bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is, leaks on the joint.
So is the pipe this whole unit?
Yeah, so it goes
down and you replace the whole.
It goes from there and it goes all the way up the wheel arch into the scuttle.
Right. So it's quite a lot of pipe for 180 quid.
Yeah, and it's about wheel off, wheel arch liner out and stuff, and sometimes it fights you at the joint at the back, like the bolt snaps and stuff, and you have to be a bit gentle. On the Boxster it's not too bad, but if you're not careful you could end up replacing the next bit of pipe along.
Right.
But on a 911 you have to be careful, because if you break the pipe that goes into, that goes up and over the engine, so to replace that next bit of pipe you've got to drop the engine out, and it turns into a
big problem.
Bit of a problem. You've got some brake lines up here that run down the car that have a bit of surface corrosion, but someone's cleaned them and waxed them. Okay. So you can see the surface corrosion, but normally the worst thing with brake lines is that's just surface corrosion. But brake lines, when they get really bad, they kind of grow, if you get what I mean.
They expand.
Like the rust goes all bobbly, whereas these are haven't, so they actually look. Okay. They actually look okay, although they do have, let's say, surface corrosion, but they look all right. Someone's cleaned and treated them. Okay. Exhaust fixings, we did them on your Cayenne, didn't we? Do you remember?
Yeah, they completely rusted away.
These are in a similar.
Oh, okay.
Similar ilk, but not a. Mate, it's not a massive job to do those. No. As you can see, they're right there.
Are they at risk of sort of coming apart any time now?
I would say possibly, yeah. Okay. That would be on my sort of urgent-ish to do.
Okay. Good to know.
But what we do is we heat them up, knock them out, because they're normally, let's see, are they original? Can't believe they're original, but I think they might be. We heat them up, we knock them out, because they're on like a little spline, like on a stud, bang them out, and then we just put new gaskets and stainless steel nuts and bolts in there.
Which is exactly what we do in the Cayenne, I think, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Manifold bolts are a little bit rusty, but
that one's got some sort of a sleeve over it.
Yeah, it's like a heat shield. Because it runs very close to the bottom of the engine there.
Oh well.
Yeah, these can leak, the seals on here, but that one looks all right. Mate, look. So in here, you see how dry that is? It's almost like dusty.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the rear main area and IMS area.
So we would see some weepage there if we suspected any
Yeah.
bearing issue.
And also, sorry about that. Also, the normally they do have a leak or a sweat or a weep, but
so
maybe because it's high mileage and the muscle's been exercised, as Dave likes to say.
It's not had a chance to.
The seal's still good, whatever, or it's been done at some point, but it's very dry out there.
What's this weird little thing here? This sort of like, it looks like a bit of old
It's like
rope,
a
isn't
cable, yeah. So it's just to support the engine.
it? So, okay, so that's good because I was going to ask you about that today because I don't know about it.
Well, that's dry as anything.
Okay, so that's a good sign.
I'm normally with the attitude of if it's not broke, don't try and fix it.
Go poking. I mean, it doesn't look either like it's been wiped off or cleaned recently either, does it? So
No, it doesn't. No, not at all.
what about this little bit of weepage here?
That's just where the oil's been changed and
So that's the oil sump, that's the sump, isn't it? And then that's the filter.
Yeah, so
Look at me learn.
basically it just needs cleaning off. That'd be fine.
Okay.
All
right, well that's very good. What about there's a little bit.
Fixes what you got.
I'm doing an inspection now.
Are you?
It's a bit wet here, isn't it?
Oh, that's the selector shaft seal on the gearbox. It doesn't take a lot of oil to make a lot of mess.
Okay.
I mean, what I would personally say is that's not too bad. It just looks worse than what it is, and that could be accumulation of a few years worth if no one's cleaned it off. So what I would say is clean it off, dry it all, recheck it in
And what is
6
this?
months or next service. Yeah, gearbox, yeah.
So what does that mean then if that's leaking? Or...
So you basically, you see here where it's obviously probably leaking from, which more than likely it is because it's a little bit of a common area. Behind here.
Okay.
So this is where your gear cables go onto. So that's your selector shaft in there.
So when you engage the clutch and you choose
and you choose what gear. See?
Oh wow.
So that's what puts it in gear. And there's a seal in there because there's a rod that comes out the gearbox. And believe it or not, it's probably like a £2.50 seal in there. But to change that, you have to pull the gearbox out and take it apart. So what I would say is, because as I say, it doesn't take a lot of oil to make a big mess, I would clean it all off, dry it all, recheck it.
Have a look again.
Next service, check the gearbox oil level to make sure you've still got oil in the gearbox, which is probably going to be bang on. You know, as I say, it doesn't take that much oil to make a mess, and then just monitor it. Okay. You know, that's what I would say.
I like it. I like monitoring. Monitoring is good because it doesn't cost any money.
Well, there's a fine medium between you need to do that now and just keep your eye on it. You know, if it's a safety item, it's like, oh yeah, you really need to get that done. Some people like to leave it and come back in 6 months. Some people, or a year. Some people don't want to come back and they go, I just want it done now. Like draw a line under it and it's fine.
For me at the moment, it's a case of bought a new car, want to check there's nothing safety related that's going to stop me from using it.
Yep.
But it's good to then know that, okay, air conditioning is probably going to give in at some point. We'll need to look at...
Flange fixings.
Yeah, maybe the... keep an eye on the brake pipes.
Yeah, but the brake pipes are essentially...
They've been done.
But not...
To the standard
not
that you
right.
would necessarily do it.
Yeah.
And then, brakes probably by January.
Yeah.
We'll just do all the brakes probably.
Depends. Well,
so
the mileage you do.
Yeah.
More than likely.
And the sort of things I'm going to do with it. Right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, cool. All right, this is great.
So on the exhaust here, I've just noticed above your head.
Ooh. Is that a clamp?
Yeah.
Was a clamp.
That was a clamp. Now it's a rusty old, like off the Titanic. Look, beautiful. There you go, mate.
What was this doing?
So that goes on here. So this is the U pipe for the exhaust. So you got a clamp there from the cat, clamp there, and then the banana pipe goes in the box. The box is starting to split a bit, but it still looks. It's just splitting on the seam. Still looks alright.
So what was this clamp actually clamping?
So it clamps that. You see this pipe here?
Yeah.
So that is a banana separate pipe, and then that clamps around there to hold that in.
Probably not going to fly out though, is it?
You can normally, when you try and remove them, you bang them with a hammer and you still can't get them out.
So that's probably not, this isn't really...
But it might need a clamp on there because it might leak.
Okay.
So
that's something to probably look at.
They're not expensive. They're about 25 quid each. This clamp is just about holding on. You've got another little bit of a splitting box there. which is fine. And then this clamp, I mean, they're corroded, but I mean, my theory would be, if you're gonna do flange fixings, you might as well do flange fixings, clamps, and that, one go. And just do all of that in one go.
Okay. Yeah. So not really anything. You're basically gonna come and sort all of this stuff out, I think. Because that'll just
thing we can do.
I'll just be waiting for it to break. Screen wash T selector thing. Brakes are fine. Tyres are fine. Suspension's fine.
You've done it again, mate.
I know. Well, you know, I need to say I did buy the car from you guys, so I'm not surprised it's a straight car, to be honest. Can I have a favour and can we plug it in and see if anything comes up on your wizardry computer? Excellent.
Let's drop it down and we'll have a look.
Well, that's a bit of a relief then. The car is pretty good, and of course I get to come away with a souvenir, which is a exhaust clamp. Do you know what? That's quite heavy, so it's going to save a little bit of weight on the car. So yeah, I think there's a little bit of a to-do list. Obviously, AC, I want to make sure that doesn't break, so we'll get that pipe done. And what else? The exhaust fixings, a few other bits and bobs we'll clean off and come back and look. Thing was last serviced in January, so I think I'll probably aim to sort of have it serviced again in January, and we'll probably get those things sorted then. The interior is in such good nick. I think that's when I saw it. I just couldn't believe the mileage. It's even the seats. Like, yeah, you got a bit of tear in there, but
I've had cars with less than half this mileage, and the seats aren't as good as that.
No.
Yeah.
And you said about the roof looks like it's been jet washed maybe at some point, and you said that there's a treatment kit.
Yeah, there's a Porsche we just normally use. I mean, I don't know whether most detailers will have a better kit, but there's a Porsche kit you can buy, and you just use a very soft brush and go over, and then you just hose it off, not jet wash it, hose it off, and then you spray it with a protector. And I've done a few of them on customers' cars, and they've always come up pretty well, because the roof's not bad. It hasn't gone all fur, you know, all bobbly and that. It's actually all right, and obviously it's brown. Right, let's get the computer and I'll plug it in.
So in the interest of keeping this video shorter than a calendar month, I'll skip through this part. The Boxster only came up with 2 fault codes. One was to do with the central locking mechanism and the other with the infotainment system. Both faults were historic and after cleared didn't come back. The results of the inspection at ePorsche I think were very good all in all. There's nothing wrong with the engine or suspension, the rear main seal area appears to be free from leaks, and the brakes and tyres are in a good condition. Ahead of my trip to the Nürburgring, I've authorised them to do the exhaust clamps, flanges and fixings, and I've decided to go for some upgraded Goodrich stainless steel brake hoses, high temperature brake fluid and some GT3 ducts, which are supposed to direct more air to the discs. I've always managed to warp brake discs on track. I've done it with my Z4, my 7 Series and my Maserati Quattroporte. It's probably just my driving and me pushing the cars too hard, but I want to give this Boxster every chance of retaining some of its brakes after this upcoming Nürburgring trip. So let's give it a go. And finally, I've asked the guys at ePorsche to do a drive belt for me, as last time I tried to go to Germany in a Porsche Boxster, well, it snapped. Whilst we wait for those parts to arrive, I thought I would have a go at home at cleaning the throttle body. See, I have a very slight but mildly annoying engine fluctuation at idle. You can see the revs don't hold completely steady. Now this could be caused by a number of things, however giving the throttle body a good clean is definitely a sensible place to start. Obviously with the engine in the middle of the Boxster, you have to create yourself some access, and you do this by putting the roof into maintenance mode. First you open the roof about 20 centimeters or so, you then unclip these 2 bobbly connectors, one on either side, unclip this fabric, again 2 connectors, and fold that over the bottom of the roof. You then need to fold the roof up on itself, which you can do by pulling up on it under the window. But be very careful, you don't want to break anything. Once you've managed to shimmy it into the right place, which for me was with great difficulty, there's a handy strap you can use to hold it in place. Then unclip this, and this, and remove this top piece, remembering to unclip this connector if you have the Bose sound system specified. Pull this carpeted cover off, then twist on this to reveal the almighty flat 6 3.2 litre Boxster engine. It's actually pretty dirty in here, so I'm just going to give it a very rudimentary spray and wipe down to clear up some of the gunk dust and to make it look a bit more presentable. That's better. So luckily the throttle body is this bit right here at the top of the engine, so theoretically it shouldn't be too hard to get to, right? There's 5 Jubilee clips to loosen in total, 4 up here on the plenum and 1 on the hose attached to the throttle body housing. There's this connector here which you need to pull off, and then there's a 10mm nut securing it down here. This is where it started going wrong though. I couldn't get this nut off no matter what. I tried some lubricating, some hammering, some swearing, but it just wouldn't budge. So with the desire not to break anything, I wondered if there was another way. I loosened and removed the hose at the bottom of the throttle body housing, and it looks like I can get just enough access to the throttle body this way. I won't be able to clean it as thoroughly or wipe the inside of the plenum, but it will still give me a good look at how dirty it is and will be better than nothing. I sprayed some carb cleaner in here and gave it a jolly good old wipe. It didn't strike me as massively dirty though, so I'm wondering if this is indeed the cause of our rough idle issue or if it's something else. After the cloth action, I put it all back together in reverse, not forgetting that electrical connector, making sure the seals were tight and trying my best not to leave any tools in the engine bay, which I've definitely never done before. Whilst I had this access, I thought I'd give the drain holes a quick fingering and a good old poke just to see if they were clogged, but seems alright down there. Once you get to this point, if you have the Bose sound system, don't forget to plug it back in. Now, after doing that electrical connector, apparently you need to recalibrate the throttle. So to do this, turn the ignition of the car on and leave for 1 minute. Then switch it off, wait 10 seconds, and you're good to go. Let's see if that fairly haphazard throttle body clean has sorted our idling issue. Maybe a little bit better, slightly better, I'm not so sure. I think it's made a marginal improvement. Now, I took Chris's advice and ordered myself one of these soft top cleaning kits. It's not the OEM Porsche one, in fact I couldn't find exactly what he was describing, but it's this one from Protex which I ordered off Amazon for under 30 quid and it came next day. First thing I did was tape up the sides of the roof over the paintwork on the edges just so I didn't get any of this where it shouldn't go. Then I followed the instructions on the kit which say to wet the roof, of course not with a jet wash. Once you've done this, take the canvas cleaner and the provided paintbrush and apply it fairly sparingly to the top of the roof, allowing it all to soak in. Now once it's visibly done that, take the brush also in the kit and give it a jolly good old scrub, rubbing in circular motion. I then rinsed all that stuff off and then added the waterproofer, which again I did so by getting a clean paintbrush and painting it on all over the roof with a really good old coating. Now I allowed this all to dry and I have to say the finished result, I think it looks the same to be honest. If anything, it's maybe brought a little bit of that brown or that cocoa colour of the roof out slightly, especially in the sunshine, but I'm not convinced it's done much cleaning, so to speak. You can still see those marks that were obviously caused by a previous jet washer user. Now it's entirely possible that I am just a buffoon and I'm unable to go through the instructions properly. Maybe I've not done this quite correctly, but yeah, it may be worth giving it a go for yourself. I'll leave a link to this kit in the description. But nonetheless, the parts have arrived. It was time to drop the car back off to ePorsche for some work. Right, well here we are, and the good news is this car is now ready. In fact, I'm going over to the Nürburgring in it later on today. Did have to spend a bit of money on it though, so let's just start with the upgrades that I chose to do, which was to do with the brakes. So we've had braided brake hoses from Goodridge on the front and GT3 ducts, which are a plastic piece that sit, I think, sort of around the lower control arm, which just naturally direct a bit more air to those discs. And then I've had high temperature brake fluid into the system. So the old stuff's been bled out, it's had a brake fluid change, but with some much higher temperature withstanding fluid. So it's feeling really good. We'll have to see what it's like when we get on track, but hopefully it'll perform better than it would have done otherwise. There was then a few bits we agreed to do regarding those exhaust flanges and clamps. They really did need doing. Chris said that, you know, they were on their way out, so I didn't want to get halfway to Germany and the back box dropped off. Be a number of issues associated with that, and I just thought it wasn't worth it. So we had all of that done as well. I then asked if the chaps wouldn't mind doing a drive belt, as for reasons we talked about earlier. Last time I tried to go to the Nürburgring in a Boxster, the drive belt snapped. I think it was the air conditioning compressor through itself, and yeah, the rest was history. You know what was funny? I was looking back at that footage and thinking, since the Maserati, where I replaced the belt on my Maserati Coupe, that happened to me today, I think I'd actually be able to fix it myself. It wouldn't be something that would require me to get a tow truck. Anyway, all of those little minor repairs and upgrades came to a little over £400, which is fine, acceptable amount of money to spend on the car, just making sure it's tippy-top. However, there was a little bit of a problem. I developed a major coolant leak just a couple of days before I was due to go back into Porsche about a week ago now. Driving it along round here, actually, I was trying to film a soft top showdown between this and my BMW Z3, which I'll endeavour to do nonetheless. We're trying to film that. As we're filming that, I got a low coolant level warning in the car. Went round to the back, sure enough, the expansion tank completely empty. So I thought, okay, maybe it was just low on coolant, let's see. Topped it up, took about 1.5 litres of water, drove it no more than 2 miles down the road. Same coolant level warning came up, and it was completely empty again. So clearly there was some sort of major coolant leak. Now, I managed to fill it back up one more time, and actually just keeping it under 2,000 RPM, drove it and limped it the 10 miles back home, and then drove it over to Porsche a couple of days later without any coolant warning. So I was intrigued to see what it was, but it turns out it was the left radiator. So the bumper had to be removed. They had to replace the failed radiator and radiator bracket, which I think we saw earlier on in the video, that bar underneath that was completely corroded. So they had to replace that, bled the system, rebuilt it, all tested okay, and they also had to replace the left-hand fan resistor. Now, that was about 3 hours of labour, and those radiators don't come cheap, but I think the guys, amazingly, if I can find it, were able to, yeah, find a used one or something like that, and all the parts came to just over a couple of £100. But nonetheless, that was an additional £500 or £600 for a repair that I wasn't expecting. So we've got a bill here for just a little bit over £1,000, which, do you know what? I'm still very happy with this car. I'm now feeling very confident in it. I have no doubts that it's going to make it through this Nürburgring adventure. And very last thing as well that I did is a full detail at home and a ceramic coating, which actually I used some G-Technic stuff that I had left over from my Maserati Quattroporte project, which was, well, about 6 months ago now. So it looks absolutely amazing, and you know, should you drop anything on the paintwork, it just slides right off. It is quite remarkable how much difference this ceramic coating stuff makes. It's lovely, and what a thing, and I love it. I'm so excited, and of course you'll be seeing the trip to the Nürburgring very, very soon, as long as I don't die or the car doesn't break or whatever, but you should be seeing that very, very soon. Next video on the channel though, we're jumping back across to the Z3 because there's been some updates with that, and again, more repairs going on with that car. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching. And just very quickly before I head off to the ferry in Dover, I just want to say you may have seen a community post I put on my YouTube channel a few weeks back. I had a little bit of a rant. I was a bit peed off about the results of recent videos and just feeling a little bit, well, downtrodden and unmotivated to continue. I thought a few people might shout at me and then I'd just delete the post, but actually it was overwhelmed with really, really supportive but also insightful comments, and I can thank you for that. But also, hopefully you can see I've tried to take a load of your comments on board, and going forwards we'll be trying to make a real effort to see series and cars and projects like this from start to finish. Sounds simple, but things get in the way all the time, and also to attempt more stuff that I can on my own as well. So thanks again if you're one of those people that left a lovely comment or some constructive criticism. It's much appreciated. Thank you all so much. I'm super excited to go to the Nürburgring. I better go and do that now, and I'll see you in the next video very, very soon.